Okay, I am really looking forward to this conversation because I have followed you, Jeri, for I think a few years now. And we're like two ships in the night,
Mhm.
and we occasionally might run into each other at the cafe or have a little bit of a hello online. But, and then one time when I was really sick, you dropped chicken soup around to my house.
Yeah,
And the thing that I really love is when you feel a connection to somebody, but you actually have no idea what it is, but it does, you don't actually force it to be anything.
you don't need
And
to.
because there's just no, yeah, you just know that it's there, but you actually don't even know what it's for. So I'm really grateful today because really today is the first time you and I have had a conversation.
It is.
Um, so I'm really curious to find out more about, what it is about you that I can feel. And yeah, just share your magic with the people that will watch this. So I just want to say thank you so much to Jeri. Thank you for being here. And because I know nothing about you, I'm just going to ask you, what is it about you? Like, it's just really quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, we definitely have an unusual situation that we don't know each other at all, but equally deeply do know each other. There's been a connection there for me, probably, I think about 4 years, I
Mm.
reckon. And we did actually have a conversation about oils where we actually had a phone call. You probably don't remember. And
Oh my, I just got goosebumps all down my back. I do remember, and I just saw myself sitting where I was sitting. Yes.
And someone literally went, "Oh, you need to do this." And I phoned, and you actually came on. I'm not a tech person at all. I was sitting in my healing room, and suddenly you came up on FaceTime, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, that was what I was expecting." Oh, hello. And we had a brief talk about oils back then, and then that was it. And then from then, I followed you. But since then, there's definitely there's something that I just know you. And I think I've said to you a few times, I just feel you. And there's been a couple of times that with all of us, and particularly in the last couple of years, that have been a bit bumpy in the road. And I've actually said to you, I've just felt you. And we haven't actually, I've spoken to you or I've sent you a message and you've said something back that was actually just what I needed at that time. And we weren't able to catch up.
Mhm.
I actually think now is the time for us to catch up. But in that moment, I remember saying to you, I just can feel you there. And the fact that I can just feel you there is actually what I needed. And so
Mhm.
that is huge. So, yeah. So, who am I?
I just, firstly, I just think what a beautiful way. I'll never get over this feeling that happens. And just when it's just, it doesn't happen with everybody, but just when it does happen with somebody, just how like you just know that this is how we are to roll.
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
So, yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, a little bit about me is that I suppose primarily for me, I'm a mum of four. Homeschooled my kids, always kind of had that natural kind of feeling with everything. Celtic background, grew up in the UK, but all the family are Irish, so very, very deeply Celtic influence in my work, and always was the black sheep, or as I like to call it, the sacred rebel, sacred outsider. And that is actually only, and it's just guided me all the way through. So we moved from the UK 2006, homeschooling the kids. And then when that kind of, about 11 years ago now, I actually started up. I've always had a really deep calling for healing work, but was my whole focus was the kids. And obviously with four of them, that took up a lot of my time. And yeah, then about 11 years ago, it was just something that I just couldn't ignore anymore. And even though I really didn't actually have time for it at the time, I just was like, right, okay. And I think a lot of us do start with, I started with Reiki. I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of that you are drawn to that. And so I started with that. And my kids at the time were heavily into martial arts, kickboxing, competing at quite a high level. And so I was actually initially working in that area. So I used to work with fighters. And so I was giving healing to fighters. And it just in the space that I was in, and I kind of became known a little bit for that. And then they would say, "Oh, actually, this was great, but can my mum come? Can my sister come?" And so it just kind of organically grew, and became what it is today. But over that period of time, I have grown so much through it that, the original teaching was kind of very much, which I think is part of it. You don't put, mine was a very traditional training that I did with Reiki, and you don't put anything else with it. And that never sits with me well. Someone says you can't do this. And so it gradually, I sort of for a couple of years did that, but I just felt so restricted by the practice. I loved it, but I just knew there was so much more. I did two lots of training. I trained with one woman and kind of went, yeah, no, I get it, but I didn't feel it. And then went and found somebody else that actually, probably about a year later, went and just did the whole thing again. And she was totally different type of teaching, but still quite strict. You can't put crystals, you can't put music, you can't put oils, you can't do anything with it. And so I kind of opened up a little bit more. And then one day I just was like, no, I'm getting my crystals out, and got my crystals out and started using, and that was it. It just exploded from that day on. It just totally changed, and everything came through me into the practice. And so, and everything, absolutely everything. So it has just developed now into, I don't even know, I genuinely have no idea what you would call it. So say it's still called Reiki, and people say, I'm coming to you for Reiki. And I'm like, okay, so there's shamanic, and it's intuitive, and it's healing, and it's coaching, and there's conversation. So yes, it's all of those things, but I have no idea what we actually call that. So it's the moment it's intuitive Reiki, and then we just kind of explain a little bit when someone comes to you and what we do. So yeah.
Mm. We've we've paralleled so much there. I love that. That whole I think it is that when we're told or taught that it has to be the thing and that's the only thing. And even when I was with the oils and I was working with the oils and I was kept getting told like this is it, and I kept thinking, no, it's not it. They're all meant to be like they're all designed to work together, not separately. And yeah, so I think that rebellious spirit that I know that you have, I think that's part of the attraction to you is I can feel your rebel in there as well. So it is that, sacred rebel that, doesn't have to do it one way, but it is that thing because I think I really struggled to think, what do I call what I do? I don't actually know what I do and how do you actually explain it to someone? And Reiki's safe and comfortable now.
Yes, oh yeah, it's very much more accepted.
Yeah.
But yeah, even in, I've been on a massive journey in the last couple of years with it. Um, but I think that it's, gosh, I don't even know where to start. But it's just all of the energy. I was actually bizarrely, since we had our session on the weekend, I think it was yesterday, there was some pieces fell into place with me, that I went, oh my God. Oh, okay, yeah, and there was a really interesting memory that came up from when I was 4. And I was in Ireland because, say, the family, we used to go there every year on holiday. And it had to happen, I now know as well. And it's brought through so much more just with this memory that we were in Ireland, and we used to go, even though we went into Cork, into the south of Ireland, we used to go off with the family to a real rural place called Alahis, which is beautiful. And it's just completely beautiful country, really, it was just amazing. Rough cliffs, sea,
Oh,
ocean. It's sort of, just beautiful. Nothing there. I think there's one church and about 10 pubs and a house. And the whole family used to meet there every year. And I have a memory of, we all went out, all the cousins and all the kids, and we were running across these fields, and I fell over into a big patch of nettles, and got stung everywhere. And I remember my sister carrying me back. Now I haven't carried me back to the house, and it was dealt with and it all calmed down, and that was that. But since the weekend, I realized that I've always had, that was actually my initiation by nettle, and the energy that came through
oh,
moving forward. And suddenly now it's gone, okay. Yeah. Because there have been specific times, and I've always been this way inclined, and I've always, followed this type of work. My dog is attacking the bin. Chaos.
Can't hear it.
Um, oh, so naughty. So yes, all through every pregnancy that I had, my first thing was nettle. So I used nettle. I drank nettle tea. All the way through, and it just an instinctive. And I actually hadn't even realized why. It was just something that I did it all the way through pregnancy because it's such a huge tonic. It's so powerful. Um, and so, yeah, after we had this conversation, I suddenly realized because in the last couple of days, last week, I went and bought another big thing of organic nettle tea and have started working with it again. And then on the weekend, I realized that that plant magic coming through, I'm going to have to, because he is,
Yeah, yeah.
excuse me, hey, that is not for you. That way, off you go.
They're seriously the best creatures.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
a 12-year-old boy. Just like, oh, bim. A new toy that he's found. So yeah, that's actually been something that's really come back on working with, and it came up a couple of years ago. But it was actually what was really important for me was the initiation that I realized that I actually had that, and you know that when you actually have that sting,
mm,
particularly I was covered. Um, that was that medicine of nettle was put in me then to give me the resilience, the feminine, specifically about what I was going to have to work through in my life, but also because nettle is very about boundaries. It's about the sacred feminine. It's about a strong sense of self, the I am, and having those boundaries in place. It's all lunar work. It's beautiful. So it just blew me away that I was kind of, oh my gosh, I suddenly realized that when we had our work,
yeah,
I realized that that plant medicine was always there, but that was the first one that had actually come through and gave it to me because that's the best way that they give you that. If you have any
yeah,
interaction with a sting, that was actually that activation of giving me that medicine because I was going to need to work with that. But it was in me without even really knowing with when every time I got pregnant, oh, I need nettle every time. And I talk about it to a lot of people, but it's suddenly now that plant medicine and dandelion's the other one that's come in, and it's the masculine and the feminine of that's really strongly coming in. But now, when I went back to the UK 2.5 years ago, so beginning of 2023, it was the first time I'd been back for 17 years. So I went back to family, and it was at a time where I was going through some stuff, and so it was like I need to go home, I need to go connect. And it was actually really funny because we were out walking, and my family obviously know who I am and how I am. And we were out walking, and I literally saw this big patch because nettles and dandelion over there, they're a bit like dandelion here. They're treated as a weed and an annoyance, and not really. We were out walking, and I just suddenly came across this massive patch of nettles, and I was like, "Oh my God, look at the nettles!" And they're all,
okay.
and genuinely, they were singing to me. And it was like, oh my gosh. And it was that, but it was also that going back to my land, going back to that, coming back home to actually again receive. It was the first thing that happened. It was nettle and this really strong energy of plant medicine. And I was, other than the fact that I was only there for 4 weeks, that I was, oh my gosh, I want to harvest. I want to make tinctures. I want to make medicines. I want to make balms. And they were like, other than the fact that I would have literally filled my brother's kitchen with stuff and then left. That's all there. Use it as you would like. But it was so it's kind of I've noticed myself in the last 2 years this activation of because of everything that we're going through, plant the communication with the land and with the plants. But I also needed to go back to because I don't have as much as I'm here, and I know I'm here for a reason. I went back again 18 months later and went back for 6 weeks. Every time I've gone back, I've had an activation, and I need to go back to my land,
Yeah.
my soul things to receive the activation to come back here to do the work here.
Mm,
It's been a really interesting journey, and every time I go back, the work changes, the
yeah.
session changes, it becomes much more deeper, and my medicine and my magic becomes bigger, better, deeper. There's a deeper knowing. So it's been a really interesting journey, particularly in the last couple of years.
Oh, I really love that.
Yeah,
And what a gift to have like realized that nettle is so relevant for
good.
you. Like, oh, and it is, it's the work that you do, like the work that I see you do. I don't really know. I had the absolute honor of being on the bed on Monday with you, and that sounds a bit ominous. But yeah, having a session with you on Monday and just really feeling all of the, it was so lovely to be able to just lay there and receive and feel safe
Mm.
in that. So I really wanted to thank you for that because it was right in the middle of a massive transformation that I'm going through. And I'd even, like I had last time, I think I booked with you last time and had to cancel. And this time something came up and I chose to do that instead. And then you messaged me and said, Your team has just asked me, how long has it been since you've had a treatment?" And I went, It's been a very long time." And
Yeah,
that was just it was a real call. The kookaburra turned up and he said, like, you need to go, you need to create the time. And like Saturday night, I was up until 2:30 in the morning. Sunday, I like it was just like I've been really in this commune, I guess, with my spirit team. And then coming to you on Monday was just like it was the up.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got to do the up, you know? And so everything's shifting, everything's changing, the whole thing is happening. And I think that, as we move on in the world that we're moving into, having these safe spaces where we can actually go and reconnect, like with you, it's your land. I don't feel that with my land where I actually originate from. I don't have that feeling. I had that in Africa. I definitely felt that in Africa, but it's like I'm sent to people and places, and then I find that. So to have connected with you has been really, really special for me. So I really thank you
Me
for what
too.
happened with us. Yeah.
I think that that's one of the important things that when we talk about what we do, and there's a lot of, there's a, as with anything, it is an honor to do what we do, and you can pretty much not, you can throw a stick on the Gold Coast and hit an energy healer. Um, and which is great,
It's
but there's also a lot of words I think that are thrown around that there's an importance, and it's really important. And I know that you do it too. Is that holding space, genuinely holding space? And so for me, like and I think all of us, when we very first start out, we attract spiritual people. So I have a lot of women that are already on the path that come in. And for me now, it's opened up into which I really am on a mission to create community and also to reach out to people who don't have never done this before. It's because we're all going through everyone's going through a thing at the moment. So we all need that support. But holding space is just that it's to be able to create that safety, because to heal, like, you know what you're doing, you know this work, but equally we all need sometimes to be able to go to a space where we can just completely let go. We can just go in and just know that the space is safe. We can trust, we can be completely and allow the work. We haven't got to have the boundaries up, we haven't got to worry about this, or it's just go in and hand over and allow completely. And that's really what holding space is about. It's knowing that the person that you're going to has done the work before you get there, to be able to come in to receive that work. And that you don't always have to know. And I say this because I'm doing a lot of work really encouraging the guys to come forward at the moment. Um, because they don't know. And I'm saying to people, you don't have to be spiritual to come have healing. You don't have to understand the work. It's a little bit like going to a chiropractor. You don't have to know how to be a chiropractor. Go and have a treatment. You just go and hand over and you come out. And that's what our work is to be able to go to people. You don't have to understand it, but the only thing you have to do is to be able to feel safe. You can walk into that space and just receive. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to know where your chakras are. You don't have to know any of that. You don't
Don't
have to have
even need to know what a chakra is.
no, you don't need any language. It's just, the only thing you need is to say yes.
Mm.
come in and know that that space is held, that and you know that the work can go as deep or not. I have people that have come to me for 7 years now, and it's because it's not that it's because they now work with me. It's now become something. It's not a fix me. It's a space
Yes.
where they can do that. They are people that I have a lot of healers come to me, and mainstream healers, doctors, psychologists, things like that, as well as in our work. But it's because they also need that. Just it's not about, you don't have to be spiritual to come receive treatment. And that's my biggest thing, is like it, we is genuinely having that. We're moving into a time of unity consciousness, of all being connected, and we have to be there for everyone
Mm.
to be able to. So it's not just that the spiritual community becomes very like, we're better than everyone else, or we're
It's like a clicky club.
very that.
Like,
So
please,
it's,
please no.
yeah, I mean, and I'm, different, always have been. So I really welcome in the different and in whatever that is. But it's just that however you find your way into the healing room, just come be. But it is about that. That's my biggest thing, is community, and having that safe space that people get to know that they can come and just let go, and they can go as deep as they want. They can literally come, because I work with 3 sessions. And so that was how, when I very first started, it was kind of, you go in, and I mean, traditional Reiki, you go in for your hour, it's hands on, you have a glass of water and off you go.
Mm.
So it feels lovely, but it's also then like, well, what was that?
Mm.
Um, and so I think you probably do the same thing. Mine developed with the more of I bring stuff in, and the more of my magic I bring in, the more then I get in that intuitive guidance, which you had on. I go do cards and guidance. That is a space for you. It's not predictive. It's not a psychic. It's the healing. Everything that happens in that room, and it's different every time, is about your healing.
Mm.
So it gives you something to go work on, that when you leave, and you can just work on that, and that's lovely, or you can just, it's completely up to you what you do with it. But you really meet the healing. It gives you an understanding of, this is where the healing sits. This is the space they're giving me, or the guidance they're giving me. And I can sit with that. I can really dive deeply into it, or I can just work on the surface with that. And because it helps that clearing to happen, to allow you to feel better. And I've had guys come in that are literally like, I don't know if I can idea what you
Mm.
just did. But she put some stones on me, and I cried, and she cried, and I feel bloody brilliant. And I now know what I'm doing. I now have clarity, and it's like, fantastic. That's great. That's it.
That's
That's
it.
Yeah, that's great.
I, I, yeah, I just did a session just before I got on here with a lady I've never met, and she's when she come out of it and she woke up and she just looked around and she just went, fuck me. And she said, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Does it need to be anything more than that? Like, like that's for whatever that was for her. Um, and I think that that is the thing. It's a space where people can exhale, where they can just like let go of the shoulders, unclench the jaw, lay there and just fully like allow themselves to just, yeah, sloth it out, and
And,
amazing things happen.
and then normally afterwards, it's normally that, after the session, they'll go and do things that they don't actually realize. Sometimes you see them for the next session, and you say, how did you go after your session? Oh, yeah, okay. And then you're like, okay. And then you have a little bit of a conversation. You say, what did you do after your session? Or how did you feel? Oh, I went to the ocean and I did this and I did that. So have you done that before? No. Oh, okay. So, and since then, oh, actually, yeah, no, I've spent so much more time. Actually, now you think about it, because they've just followed what they wanted to do, but realized that that's actually been a big change in their life than what they used to do before. And they suddenly want to spend time in nature. They're being drawn to certain foods. They're being drawn away from other things. And it's just a natural, very gentle process. And because it's that way, they don't always notice,
Yeah.
but it is happening. And then when you kind of go and they go, oh, oh, right. Oh, God. Yeah, okay. That, because that's the biggest thing. I think both of us, we both work very heavily with nature. And that's what we're coming back to. And that's what we're bringing people back to, is working with and her being it, because we've had so much separation. And
Mm.
it's, over, geez, we could talk for hours about how we've been separated from the land and from the mother and from the medicine of the land. And I think also that's why, I think we spoke briefly the other day about this prenatal chi. And I kind of go, oh my gosh, like, this acceptance of self and then the advanced level of it of coming out and looking down on the earth as that prenatal little soul. Then, okay, so where am I going to go next? What am I going to do with this lifetime? And then looking at the earth and going, okay, yeah, that looks cool, apparently. Everyone wants to go there. Huge evolution there. There's so many lessons to learn. Let's go do that. And then the choosing the body, the time, the place, the family that you come into, and I chose an Irish Catholic family.
Yeah. Yeah.
With everything and that's been my biggest thing is looking at ordered religion and then how it tried to completely cleanse culture
Mm-hmm.
and literally I did a really good job, but then also being able to and the fascination even of in because we had a very strict Irish background and practice that the actual ritual that was within the Catholic Mass, whereas any other ritual wasn't good apparently. But yeah, that was it. That was a big teacher of actually being able to look at that and see what it did, and then to be able to find myself through that, and obviously then be the black sheep in that of not conforming and just no, this isn't the way. And yeah, has been a really big thing. But it's really interesting when you look at what we choose, who
Mm.
we choose to come in as, into what lifetime, and to be able to accept all of that, that actually that's our biggest teacher, and then have that absolute gratitude for that and not get hung up on it.
Yeah,
Not
not get so seduced by all of the things of being different, of not fitting in, of not like, you when you start work with somebody and they go like, I'm nothing like my family. I just feel like the black sheep. And I go, this is exciting.
that's great.
That's like the best thing because if we chose to come into a family where we were like them, we would have no reason to step outside of it and venture out into the world and to see things from a new perspective. We would stay in that comfort and we wouldn't grow.
That's right.
So, yeah,
And help others.
and help others to do that. Yeah,
But
yeah,
equally, we're going through such a huge time of change. We have to be those ones who are the cycle breakers. We step outside, we think outside the box that we don't fit, and to encourage others, because that's, Age of Aquarius is all that unique essence of you. So it's you don't have to. You came here to be, and what did you come here to be, and how exciting is it to go find that? And what an adventure, rather than, yeah, there's always a little bit of like, but it's actually, what is it they say that fear is the same frequency as excitement.
as
They just
excitement.
haven't been given the permission. And it's
I
all
I just say it's how you raise your eyebrows. Like if you feel fear, you're like this, and if you feel excitement, you just lift your eyebrows. So I just say like, if you feel fear, just raise your eyebrows, and it just shifts it from fear to excitement. It's a
yeah.
totally, yeah, exactly the same experience, just thought about differently. Um, there was something that I wanted to say in there, but I just lost it. Oh, um, just like your nettle being your medicine. Like there's something that's excited me for years is to understand that each one of us, it's like we're this massive medicine cabinet. Nature, us, cosmos, all of us hold a unique medicine that nobody else on the planet holds. And so, when people go, oh, yeah, but there's so many healers. And I go, yeah, but there's none like you. There's none that do it in the way that you do it, with the perspective or the energy that you bring and that unique frequency or that hum, as I call it. Like we've all got this hum. And, at times they might need this person and that person. And that, so, like it is that it's so beautiful to see people start to actually really get into who they are, what they're about, and bring it to the world because that's what's needed. It's not hiding away thinking I'm not as good as her and she does this and I'm not a sound healer or I don't do breath work or I'm not a healer at all. I'm a teacher. Like it doesn't matter what your vocation is or what your job is. You've come here with a specific medicine. And if anything that we speak about even resonates, it's like, yeah, you're one of the people that are here to do something too. So I love the fact that we can, I mean, years and years ago, if you think about where we came from, particularly as women, we would have been segregated to the point where we're like, I don't want to have anything to do with you because you and I do the same thing. So we would be in competition.
That's right. Yeah.
And yet, oh, how beautiful to be alive at this moment where we can be in awe of each other, be inspired by each other, and actually go and like be with each other and celebrate and share. And I think that what a beautiful way that we're going into where we step out of the competition and into the co-creation and the collaboration and just being together.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that is, and that it's now because it's being supported by the energy, and there's a lot of people that are actually now being called, and now is the time. There's so many beautiful collaborations coming on with women, and it is that. And but I think we're all also a little bit exhausted of just being on our own and holding the whole thing. And it's kind of like, let's just, it is that looking over your shoulder. The comparison is just awful, and stop so many people doing things because they just don't think they're good enough. But this is that energy of like, oh my God, who are you?
Yeah.
What's, and all of that, because we all do it. There's times when we're kids and growing up that there are little bits of yourself that you bring out and show the world, and the world doesn't react very well, and you kind of go, oh yeah, no, I'm not ready for that yet. You
Okay.
put it, and then you kind of mold yourself into something that's acceptable and that's kind of like, okay, I can kind of move through in this space and I don't get too much hassle. But now it's this like, no, it's the activation of all the hidden gifts, and it's that really beautiful, come on, it's like, where's your stuff? Where's the stuff that you came here to do? Where's your magic? But it's that, what's the calling? And it's that
Mm.
really beautiful. There's a card in one of the shamanic decks I use, the moon card, and it talks about the witch in her cottage. And she literally hears the wolves calling. And so she's either, as she's doing her magic in the cottage, she can either stay making her potions and listening to the wolves and just think, oh, that's lovely. Or she opens the door and goes into the garden and is outside and still can hear them. Or there's the throwing off the clothes, swinging the gate open, running off to the hills and running with the wolves. And the complete, and none of it's wrong, but it's all that how far you want it. That calling is there. So how far do you want to take it? But when you do literally do the swing the gate open and run with them, when you come back changed
Mm.
beautifully. You come back with that and you step back in, and you never ever just work in your cottage ever again. It's that full, the I amness, and saying that's for me what happened. We spoke the other day when I went to the UK the first time, and I had all my dragon energy come up, and it's that full connection again with nature. It's everything coming out. We did a day. I do 2 women's days a year, and on in March, the one we do March and October, and the one we did it was April, it was, I think. I went out onto the deck at one point. I don't know whether I spoke to you the other day about this. And I was just having a moment, and there's beauty. It's just the whole place is surrounded by trees. It's out in the wood here on the Gold Coast. And I just suddenly looked into the trees, and as the wind came through, I could see frequency and symbols just in the trees. And I did a kind of, because I was just in that moment, so just, God, this is amazing. Being here with these women, sharing open, just there was so much love and energy that it literally obviously just made the space resonate and sing. And I just saw it just move completely. And again, it's that if you overthink it and you go, oh my God, what was that? It was like, oh, it would go.
Oh, gone.
Kind of like, but as soon as you just step into that, just being in the space and the feeling of the space and the frequency of the collection of women, it was like, there it is, surrounded just in the trees. And I was just like, there it is. There's that, like, thank you so much. I needed that. Was great. That was just that little bit of confirmation of, yeah, we're here with you. You're fully connected and we feel you. And that's
Mm.
gold.
It's intoxicating. Like it's like I could just scrunch, just go, oh, it's so intoxicating. I love it. That is a beautiful space where you hold that. I've held a couple of things there, and when I saw your photos, I thought, oh, of course you're out there. Like it's such a beautiful space that.
Yeah, and we looked for a little while because we used to have it. Tanya, she is my other half that does these with me. She had we had her boutique wedding venue, and so we used to do them up there. It's a beautiful deck. And then when they sold that property, it was like, where are we going to go? And we looked at a few places, but it had to be the spaces. It's just it's really important. It had to be in nature. and it's a log cabin. But
Oh,
that place, that it there's a when we the very first time we went there, and we actually went in, and we always go the night before to set up, and we did a kind of, well, as we were cleaning, it was, oh, we're not on our own here. And so we stopped and went, okay, let's just, we both could feel and see this, all this movement going on. And so we were like, right, okay, let's just welcome them in, connect with them. And so, yeah, it was a really beautiful that. And it was like, yeah, no, this is our space. It's amazing.
mm,
Every time just the drive out, as soon as you come, it's just everything else. You just leave everything else and everything starts there. Beginning of that road, everything starts there. It's just like, okay, thank you. Yeah, love it.
just like, oh, I just love, I'm so, I'm in awe of the work and the places and spaces it takes us. And yeah, just the beings and the energy that you get to share the space with. And every time it's different.
Oh, totally. I mean, even say last year we did, I said to you, I was in meditation. I just come out of session and I was just shutting down myself here. And I had the message of, it was the 7th of the 7th, 10 men. And just that. And I was like, oh, no, not qualified, not ready. Not doing that. And it was a, yeah, yeah. And so I was just like, oh God. And it was just so funny because we put it up, and we do these, we just go, okay, well, I'll put it out and see what happens. Just don't attach to it. And we put it out, and it literally was like that. 10 men straight away. And I was just like, wow, okay. And again, not, but that as well, something for me that is it was uncomfortable, definitely uncomfortable, definitely a little bit nervous. When we got there, the guys were fantastic, but leading up to it, because of all of that, who do I think I am to go in and try and do the hero's journey with these guys? Like, really? Like, what what am I thinking? And it was really, it was a bit, it was great, absolutely fantastic. And then they were all like, when are you doing the next one, when we finished? And it was just like, oh my gosh. And even on the day, it was a funny one, because we always finish with a sound healing, and I always get a sound, we do a full hour of sound. And it was, the guys were arriving at like half 8, starting at 9. And our sound healer I got a text saying, really sorry, can't make him sick. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, a whole hour this afternoon now and they're expecting this. Okay. And I still don't know how we did it. And literally just on the phones, da, 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 and we found an amazing sound healer, Joshua Tree, literally that morning. And I remember phoning him, and it was a really bizarre, because Sunday morning sound healers, no disrespect to sound healers, but people don't get up at that time on a Sunday morning, especially spiritual people, not always. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it literally got this, like, it had phoned several, no, sorry, we're not even in state, we're in state with this, that, and the other. And then got him on the phone, and I said, we've just really, like, but I literally, they're going to be arriving in 5 minutes. Could you possibly? And he went, yep. Really? Yeah. Okay. So could you be here 2:30? Yep. Starting at 3? Yep. Okay. Thanks. Put the phone down. And then I was like, oh, I hope he turns up. I haven't literally, I don't, is he? Will he? And the whole day, and it was such an interesting, because the actual whole day was about me trusting. It was this whole new thing me doing with these guys. But while I was working, I also just had to not think about it. Just go, it's okay.
Let
He's
it
good.
go.
He will turn up. It's fine. You asked, it did. He said yes. You don't need 10 texts from him confirming it.
Yeah.
You don't need to text him and, are you sure? Are you okay? Like, just, and he turned up, and it was just that. I was always super grateful to him. But it was just the whole thing. It's just, there's so many little pieces that we learn and are
Hmm.
able to do this work when we're teaching. But it's a whole new space. It's that us, and it is that being able to. And it's always interesting. I have male sound healers on my Women's Day, so it's just worked out that way. But me doing the Men's Day, so we've got another one coming up in October. But that's a new space, and it's huge, a, just hugely humbling for me, the guys to come to that with.
And it's just, it is such a different space, and it's really beautiful. Like I loved it. There was one weekend last year where I'd done a session with women up in Numinbah Valley, and about 3 weeks later, I had one for men.
Mm.
And the difference in the experience of, but it's just like it's just worlds apart, but so magnificent. Like I really love working with men. I
Yeah,
there's something so innocent
yeah. It's
around it all.
honest.
Yeah, it's so and I was just going to say before all of these learnings that we go through and all of these experiences that we have to learn to trust
Mm.
and to like just know that it's fully supported and whoever's meant to be there on the day is going to be there. It was about 3 years ago now. I was co-creating this, collaborating with a retreat with one of my friends. It was all set up, it was fully booked out, everything was wonderful. The night before at 6 p.m., the chef messages and says, "Sorry, I can't come." And so I messaged the other lady and she was like going into this absolute tears. And I said, you know what? This is for whatever reason, this is okay. And so I said, show me who to talk to about this. And they showed me this person's face. So I messaged her and I said, look, this is what's happened. Do you know anybody that can actually cook beautiful vegetarian food? She said, yeah, actually, I do. So she messaged me the number. I messaged the girl. Yep, okay, I'll do it. I've never done it before, but I'm actually really keen to do it. And it came, and it was just the most amazing thing that you've ever experienced. And I witnessed that, and I thought for me to get to that point where a chef, like something really large in
Yes.
your space, in your experience,
Yeah.
can just completely fall away. The amount of trust that that takes to know, okay, we're just being redirected. There's a redirect here. So, but people don't get to see all the stuff that like that.
Yeah.
It looks like we manage it so effortlessly, but there's so many times that that sort of thing falls apart and you just go, oh my God, what do I do? Yeah, it's like, ah,
Absolutely. When those guys walked in that door, at that point I had just then they walked in and they had the big so nice.
hey.
It's 5 minutes before there was pacing up and down the deck. And it's that okay, but it is that, and just the trust. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. It's like okay, but and that's the thing. I think that people also, and we do it. People think that we have our shit together and I remember someone years ago saying to me, "Because you'd never get sick," and I was,
Okay.
and they do tend to think that, and it's like, geez, no, believe me, no, there's
Yeah,
no shit.
just know.
It is just, yeah, we're going through it. It's all interconnected. We are healing. We are on our journey. We have got stuff falling away and we're going through this as we're walking through it with you. We've been through an awful lot of it and we're continuing to go through that. But that's why, it's like I genuinely think I have a lot of Chiron in my chart. And it's the
The
wounded
wound, yeah.
being the healer, and helping the wounding, but from my wounding, from my space of pain, to be able to have that magic and the understanding to go, yeah, okay, I can sit with you with this. Just you say that holding space, just sitting with that, and okay, we don't even have to talk to it. We just can sit with that. I know what, yeah, okay, that, and we'll continue to, no doubt, go through all of those things.
It's just not a space that like I think that true safety is not learnt in a book. It's something that people have to have experienced and embodied and
Oh,
walked through the fire to be able to guide people through the fire. Like it is just not something, when people say, I did an online Reiki course or I did this, and I just go, okay, so what have you done with it since? It's not about the course.
not at all. No, never is. It's
It's
never it's even any of the, I always say to people, it's never about the challenge. The challenge, the thing that happens, is completely irrelevant.
mm,
It's about how are you consciously choosing to move through this and what is it showing you? And then being able to unwrap it, take the gift, and then apply it, the spiritual application. Now, when it happens again, when the echo comes up, are you going to hit the default button and behave the same way? Or are you going to go, hang on a second? I have a thing.
I
I
know this.
This happened, and they gave me a thing. Hang on, take a minute. Okay, I'm not sure how to completely use this tool yet, but I know I have one, so I'm going to have a go, and it will be a bit okay, but you'll go through a bit easier. And then the whisper happens, maybe about 6 weeks down the track, and then that time you kind of go, oh yes, I do this with this, and you move through it. But obviously, we don't. Or some that's why the circling happens with the just the constant default button. It's like this keeps happening to me. Do you respond any differently every time it happens? Have you ever, do we like, okay, let's walk through this. We take the whole thing, the vehicle, the gift. We don't unwrap it. We literally just, it's literally the whole thing. It's like, okay, this was just what was bringing this to you. It's, I say to people when like they come in, I wish, well, I don't wish, but we haven't got magic wands. We
Yeah.
can't in session go, found it, got it, you'll be good now. It's genuinely that. And when they, so someone, I always remember years ago, this guy came to me and I was like, hey, what is it you really want? We were having this conversation. And he said, I just wish my family was closer. I said, I would just love to have a really close family. And I was like, okay, right. And we did our session. He went off, came back. And in the interim, his family, something had happened with the family. And they were going through this really traumatic thing. And I said to him, there it is. And he was like, what do you mean? He said, I said you wanted a close family. And now it's kind of like, and I said, yeah, but you asked for a close family. They won't just magic wand you and go, okay, they'll bring an opportunity. There's a challenge that will come to the family that will either rip you apart or give you an opportunity to work together and support each other and come close together that will then bond you to move forward, that you will actually receive this. So in this moment, go to show you be the first one, be supportive to the most difficult one, the one that's really acting out. Go there, and you don't have this. No, it's not about the enabling or the saying it. You still have your boundaries in place, but just go and be compassionate with that person. I see you right now. What can I do? And they'll be so shocked that it's like, okay, just start the process. They're giving you an opportunity to either come together or not, and that's completely your choice. And that's what our work is. It's
Mm,
that being constantly see we help people move through life with a different perspective. To be
exactly.
okay, it's still going to happen. Absolutely, the stuff's still going to come at you, but you either go through backwards, it's kind of like pull through a hedge backwards, or take a step back, consciously choose, move through with ease and grace, learn the lesson. Okay, yep, master that one in the toolkit. Okay, so that you and that gratitude, that genuine viewing everything happening for you, not
Yep.
to, which is, fuck, it's
It's gold. It's like it's the thing that changes.
thing. But
Yeah.
it is, and I say to people, just because I say it sounds like an easy, because we're sitting down for the time and we have to say these things, but I know it's difficult. It can sometimes feel like literally walking through glue, because it's in every moment you're having to consciously choose. Okay, and then the next one, and doing that work, it's difficult, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and it's reforming habits of this is how when this happens, I do this, not that,
Mm.
to actually have that growth. And that's what we do with our conversations. That's where that coaching aspect, the spiritual aspect comes through. And it's not, as I say, I would love to be able to kind of get that spiritual label off, that it's just people in life.
Yeah, I went through a stage earlier in the year where I even took spiritual mentor off my thing because I thought I don't even want to be like labeled
Right.
because it's been such a hashtag word and it's been thrown around and lost that sacredness of it that people either make it too serious and think that it's something that they've got to follow all of these really rules, or we're like over here like pretending that it's some aesthetic. It's sort of both ends of the scale just weren't resonating at all. But I think it is that thing of it's just more consciously choosing and being intentional and being really present with your life rather than just allowing it to just play out and not be aware of your patterns. And, so yeah, like it is spirituality, but it's also just like being a conscious human.
Yeah, coming really the remembrance, and I think that's the biggest thing because that's what we're obviously going through is this big remembering actually, and it's going to, I mean, it's going to be huge, but it will continue. It's the remembering of who we are,
Mm.
and the remembering of the connection to the earth, and the remembrance of that everything is. It's that everything's connected. We're so separate. And we did at one of the Women's Days. We did it was the first one, and again, it was kind of like, oh, here we go. this is going to be big. And we did a womb healing. And it was so powerful. But because we are disconnected from our womb space completely. And it's not just, it's our place of conception, not just of people, but of everything from us.
Everything.
And we're completely divorced from the space. And
Mm.
it was that in itself was just, and I've started incorporating it in sessions now as well, that people come on, we can do that before a session. But it's that because we've become so separated from everything, absolutely everything. And it's coming back into that now, which is this beauty. People, and I've seen, you see this, you probably as well, when you do this work for a long time, you start seeing the trend shifting and people going to, when they don't feel great, they go to nature. We're
Yeah.
really lucky where we live that we've got beautiful spaces that you can go to, but it's coming back to teas and tinctures first and the powerful, and actually going out into nature and noticing that you feel better immediately when you just go to. But
Mm.
it's coming back into that remembrance and the simplicity of it. It's free,
It's free.
you
And
know.
it's all very readily available. And it's all, that within, without, above and below. Like it's all around us and within us every single day. Doesn't cost a cent. And yet we're constantly looking outside of ourselves for the next thing or the next thing or the next thing, where just, you know what? Go sit with a tree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was, and I had surgery a couple of years back, breast surgery, and that was, I think it was day 8. And I just, it was kind of, it was winter. I wasn't going out, and it was actually one of my boys was like, right, come on, we're going out. Come on, let's go. And took me, went for a walk, and we went found some down by Nerang River, went for a really nice walk, and that was it. I was like, right, I just need a tree. And it was just that heart to heart contact, and it's that kind of, I just need to put this on this tree and just ask for that, please just take what is needed, give me what is, and just stay there and just hold on to that tree. And it was just like, thank you, much
Thank
better.
you.
Just,
Thank you.
yeah, it's right there,
Mm,
just needed to go. Yeah. So I was always very grateful for my son who just went, come on.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think, yeah, it's just that kindred spirit. I can see like my curiosity has been quenched to know what it is uh, about you and I. And I just realized we're, walking a parallel path here, that, and with our unique medicines. And so, yeah, I totally see you. And I am really grateful that we have connected in the way that we have. And I look forward to whatever this will be for us. Um, yeah, and I thank you for coming on and just like sharing you. And yeah, I really love that. Thank you so much, Jeri.
I've just not done it before, so I was kind of not really didn't know what to expect, but no, it's been nice. It's a nice way to connect.
Beautiful. All right. I look forward to seeing you again. I'm
Take care.
just going to turn the record off and just say thank you.